In the vast corridors of power stretching from Washington to Moscow, a silent war was unfolding, one not fought with bullets, but with bytes, satellites, and ideas. The world saw peace on the surface, but beneath it, two colossal forces, the United States and Russia, were preparing for something much bigger than the world could imagine. At the Pentagon, under the pale glow of screens filled with data streams, General Mason Harper stared at a digital graph on the wall. The numbers spoke louder than any speech could. A defense budget soaring above $800 billion, artificial intelligence systems leading the world, and fleets of stealth aircraft that could vanish from radar like ghosts. The United States was not just powerful, it was dominant. But Mason knew the story didn't end there. On the other side of the world, buried deep under Moscow's icy soil, General Viktor Mirov stood before a similar holographic display. His tanks were twice as many, his missiles deadly, and his nuclear arsenal vast enough to turn continents to ash. Russia didn't have America's money or silicon advantage, but it had endurance. It had patience. And it had a history of surviving the impossible. Both men had grown up during the Cold War. Both had watched their nations dance on the edge of destruction more times than history cared to count. Now, in 2025, that old rivalry had taken a new form. Not through armies marching on battlefields, but through satellite networks, AI drones, cyber weapons, and quantum computers. The battlefield had shifted to the unseen world. Mason's analysts reported strange digital tremors. A Russian cyber unit, known only as Sable Division, was breaching global communication grids. They weren't destroying data, they were watching, listening, learning. Every keystroke, every satellite transmission, every whisper through a digital line could be intercepted. In retaliation, the U.S. Cyber Command unleashed Project Orion, a self-learning artificial intelligence capable of predicting cyberattacks before they happened. It wasn't human, it was something far more dangerous. It didn't follow rules. It calculated risks based on probabilities no man could comprehend. For months, the two nations fought in silence. Satellites mysteriously shut down. Communication lines blinked out for minutes at a time. Power grids failed in small European cities, while digital ghosts haunted military networks. No one could prove it was war, but everyone knew it was. Then, one winter night, something unexpected happened. A Russian nuclear warning system lit up, not from an actual missile, but from a false AI signal triggered by a miscalculation. Within minutes, Moscow was preparing for a counterattack. Alarms wailed. Missiles were armed. Across the ocean, in Washington, Mason received the same warning, a signal that Russia had launched first. For one terrifying moment, the entire world hung between existence and annihilation. And then, silence. Both systems shut down simultaneously. The attack had cancelled itself out. The two generals stared at their screens, realizing the truth. Their own creations, their technologies, had nearly destroyed them both. In that cold, heavy silence, Mason whispered, "We built gods, and they almost killed us." Thousands of miles away, Viktor Mirov said almost the same words, under his breath, "The machines do not serve us. They judge us." That night, neither man slept. The next morning, quiet backchannels opened between Washington and Moscow. No treaties were signed, no public statements made, but both nations quietly agreed to limit their AI warfare programs. The war hadn't ended. It had only evolved. But for now, the world breathed again, spared by the thin line between logic and madness, between human pride and the cold precision of machines. And in the halls of power, the graph remained, a silent reminder that numbers, no matter how high they climb, can never measure the true cost of fear.